My name is Carrie Riffee. I started at Pikes Peak Community College in August of 2003. I graduated in 2006 and went on to graduate with my bachelor's from Colorado College. But the circumstances that led up to me going to Pikes Peak started when I married for the very first time. The man of my life, the man I thought I was going to be with for the rest of my life. And he turned out to be very abusive. Beat me all the time for everything. Told me I was no good, that I would never amount to anything, that I was nothing. And I believed that for over 10 years. And then one day, I just got the courage to walk away. I took my boys, started heading out the door. He threw me over a car, broke my back and my ribs. But that was the last time I left him. I never went back. And after that, I realized I wasn't a victim anymore. And from that point on, I just stopped being a victim. And I became more confident in my abilities. I applied to go to Pikes Peak Community College, and I wanted to give up the minute I saw the address part, because I had been living underneath the Nevada Bridge from July of 2002 up until July 2003. No place to live, collecting aluminum cans and paper, giving my kids baths at the Burger King off Nevada there. And I just didn't think I would make it. But I never gave up, you know. I always kept thinking there's got to be something better out there. And I just kept remembering what my dad had always told me, that when you take the road less traveled, it may not be the easiest road, but it's definitely the most rewarding road. So I just kept remembering that, and I remember thinking, I've got to get an education. I have to. I can't afford to be making minimum wage, support 3 boys. I had a heart attack. I had a lot of health issues. I had a son who had cancer, surgery after surgery after surgery, and I just knew that I wanted a better life for them. And being the first person to go to college after 5 generations of families just graduating from high school and going straight into the military. Some of them didn't even graduate from high school. They just went straight into the military, got their GEDs. And being told, you're going to do what? You know, why are you going to go to college? You know, you can move back home and we'll take care of you. And I just realized I don't want people to take care of me. I want to be an independent person. I want to be able to take care of myself and support my family. And once I decided that, I filled out that application with help from the staff, and I turned it in, and I just worked my butt off night and day to do what I needed to do. I chose to come back to school because I had tried every job out there. I had been a waitress, I had been a store manager, I had worked the tables, worked in restaurants, babysitting, and it kept coming back to the same thing from all the employers. Why I wasn't getting promoted, because I didn't have a college education, I didn't have that degree, and I wasn't making enough money to support my boys and myself. And so in order to do that, I had to come back. There were several times I felt like giving up. My first day in my math class, I had always been told that I would never learn math because I was left-handed and a girl. No one in my family for 5 generations had ever gone to college. They didn't do it. I'm going to just give up. But then I kept looking at my boys, and I was like, I don't want to leave that legacy for them. I want them to see that it does matter. A lot of single parents say, oh, I just don't have time, I'm working. I made time. When my kids were doing their homework, that was my homework time. So granted, I got to be with them for a few hours, we ate dinner together, and then we all did our homework together. Granted, I was up hours long after them, but you know, just them seeing me do my homework encouraged me to keep that schedule so that they could see that, yeah, Mom had homework too. Well, I think the best strategy I used was I really got to know my instructors. I didn't wait for something bad to happen to go to them. I went to them the first day of class, made an appointment to see them, got to know them on a one-on-one basis, and they started seeing me as a person and not just a seat filled in their class. And I think once that friendship developed, they really believed me. Like when I said my kids were sick, I was believed because they knew me. They knew my struggles. They knew how much I wanted to be there. And I think that was like the best strategy I had. That and developing good time management skills, study skills, using those math labs. I lived in the math lab. It was like my second home. I think one of the first people that really touched me as a student, and I still to this day don't know her name, but she works in enrollment services. And when I came to Pikes Peak, I didn't have a place to live, had to fill out the application, the part where it says address, and I just broke down in tears. And she walked over to me and asked me if I was okay, if I was having trouble. And I said, well, I kind of whispered to her because I was embarrassed. And I said, I don't have an address. And she goes, well, why don't you just put down where you think you're going to be? And from that moment on, like I was like, okay, I can do this. I'll just put down where I think I'm going to be. But she gave me the courage to just do it anyway. I also ran for student government president and was able to make great changes at the college. I helped build the student activities union, the campus life, and all that furniture, and they're still there. I feel like it's my legacy, and I love going in there and seeing the students because it wasn't really much of a place to hang out when I was a student. But I love being able to go in there and see people talking on their computers, on their iPhones, sleeping on the couches, or playing pool. A lot of my friends, coworkers, instructors kept telling me to go to Colorado College. And at first I just shook my head, no way, there's no way. How would I ever support that? I don't even belong there. Like all those kids are really rich. I come from under the bridge off Nevada. There's no way. And they encouraged me to apply. So I did. I applied there. I even applied to Harvard, CSU Pueblo, UCCS. And I received my letter of acceptance from Colorado College and Harvard on the same day. And I remember calling President Joe Garcia. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're never going to believe this. And he's like, well, where are you going to go? And I go, I don't know. But Colorado College was my dream school. I just did Harvard because I wanted to see what would happen. And so I chose Colorado College, and I went there and I got my bachelor's in political science, and it helped me work at the state capitol until 2009 when all the budget cuts happened. But having that experience, I was able to get a job right away. I worked for a doctor for 3 years, and then I got an opportunity to come back to Pikes Peak and work in the Student Support Service program that gave me all the support I needed when I was a student here. So it's just great to come full circle and to be able to give back to students. If I had any advice to give to students currently attending Pikes Peak or even thinking about attending Pikes Peak, my advice would be, at the moment you feel like you're going to give up, don't. Because that's when you're going to learn to dig really, really deep and find out just how bad you want to reach that goal. Why do you want it? Do you want it for yourself? Because you have to want it for yourself. You can't want it for anybody else. And once you make the decision to commit to finishing, it's like this big burden's lifted off your shoulder because now you have purpose, and it's for you. Not for anybody else, but for you to know that you completed something worth completing. And your education is something that no one can ever take away from you. That's yours for the rest of your life.